So now that we have all of our actors and attributes set up, let's start programming everything and get this Flappy Bird game to come to life. So the very first thing I'm going to work on is the ground actor. It's very important that when you move into the backstage portion or the coding portion for each element, you have selected it here inside your actor tab and not selected actors here. So what I mean by that is simply click on an actor, like the ground actor that we're going to work with, and then let's go ahead and toggle to backstage, which is this little icon right there. So I'm going to click on that icon, and then that opens up the backstage. So essentially this is the guts or the brains of that ground actor, and you can see that there's nothing in here right now. It's kind of a blank slate, and that's why our ground actor doesn't do anything. But what we want is our ground actor to move. We're going to be moving all of our actors, or our ground and our pipes, from the right side of the screen to the left side of the screen, simulating like our bird is moving forward. Now, in a lot of games, you might actually move your hero character through the world. So just like, for instance, Mario, he's maybe moving through the world. And in this case, we're actually moving the world past our character, which gives the same simulation of movement. And sometimes it's easier to do it one way or another way in games. But for this game, we're going to be moving the world around our character, and our character will stay in a static position and only be able to move up and down, but not forward and backwards. So again, with Backstage open, and the ground actor selected, let's go ahead and add in our first attribute. And all we need to do is click in this box here and type in the word move. And you can see we get two options, move or move to. So we're going to click on move, and that has now added the move attribute to our actor. And the only things that we want to adjust here is the move direction. We can click and drag on this dial. The move direction is going to be 180 degrees, so it's actually easier if you just type that in here. So that'll be from right to left. And then the speed, you can choose your own speed, but I'm just going to choose a speed of 200. So we brought in the move behavior, set its direction to 180 degrees, and the speed to move. So if we were to preview this now, you can see our ground is then marching off the screen here. So why does it march completely off the screen? Well, because we told it to. We told it to move in this direction at a speed of 200. So what we want to do is actually turn on scene wrapping at this point. So if we go over to our scene tab again, you notice that there is a wrap X and wrap Y. What we want to do right now is actually turn on the wrap X. And then now that we have wrap X turned on, let's see what happens when we preview our scene again. You notice that our ground is moving, but it doesn't seem to ever end. And the reason for this is remember in the beginning of the last tutorial, I said let's go ahead and create our scene to be the exact same size as our ground. Now that our ground is the exact same size of our scene, those empty areas that we saw here in the left and right, and we have wrapping on, it means as the ground moves from one end, it then is teleported back to the other end, and that's what scene wrapping does. So to kind of demonstrate this a little bit better, I can take my ground actor and adjust his position, and then preview this, and you can see he wraps again. So the extra that we have kind of hanging off on this side over here shows up automatically over on this side because we have wrapping turned on. So very powerful stuff to use scene wrapping. So let's go ahead and get our ground actor back into position. Great. So I'm going to turn backstage back on, and we're going to program a few other actors here. So when you have nothing selected, you'll see that we have no actors selected here in our backstage. So the next actor that I'm going to program is the pipe. So I'm going to click on the pipe actor, and again you can see now we're in the backstage for that pipe, and there's no programming here. So what we want to do is we want to again type in the word move here, and we're going to do the exact same thing that we did for our ground, which was we added the move behavior, and then we made it 180 degrees because we want it to move in the same direction as our ground, and we're going to add in 200 because we want it to move the same speed as our ground. So I'm going to turn off Backstage. So to demonstrate that that's working, I'm going to drag a pipe in. Now remember earlier I said you don't need to drag in any of your pipes because the spawn actor is going to do that. So we're going to delete this in a moment, but we just want to see that everything is working perfectly. So you can see that if I reset this real quick, our ground and our pipe are moving at the same speed, which is exactly what we wanted. So we can go ahead and delete the pipe from our stage here because we actually don't need to use this actor. And now let's start programming the other actors. So let's move over to Spawn Pipe. We'll click on that. We have Backstage open still. And what we want this Spawn Pipe actor to do is exactly what its name suggests, which is we want it to kind of give birth or create the pipe in our scene. So what we're going to do is first start with a timer. So in this space here, I'll type in the word timer. Click on that when it comes up. And the only settings we're going to change here is we want every 3 seconds, so type in the number 3, we want something to happen. We'll also click Run to Completion. And what we want to happen, we'll click in this box here, we'll type in the word spawn, is spawn actor. So every 3 seconds, spawn an actor. We want to choose the actor, and the actor we're going to spawn is the pipe. So basically every 3 seconds, our spawn pipe actor is going to spawn the pipe. So now that we have movement set into the pipe, then it should be spawned over here every 3 seconds, and it should move across our screen. So let's preview that and check it out. So we'll hit preview and then count 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. We should be getting a pipe, which we do. So every 3 seconds we should see that pipe show up. Now you'll notice something weird in a moment. Notice now it looks like it's spawning multiple pipes. It's actually not spawning any more pipes. What's happening is we're getting that scene wrap again. Remember we turned on scene wrap to get the ground to wrap perfectly? Well, what's happening with our pipes right now is they're kind of disappearing over on this end and then reappearing over here, but our spawn pipe actor is still spawning a pipe every 3 seconds, so we're getting all these pipes showing up in our scene. So let's click back to editor. And what we're going to do now is add a little bit of programming to the pipe so that it destroys on contact with that destroy pipe actor. So I'll click on the pipe actor. Again, I have my Backstage open. And we're going to create a rule this time. So we'll click the plus rule icon. That creates a new rule box for us to work with. And inside this box, we're going to type in the word collision. And basically, we're saying right now that when you overlap and collide with the destroy pipe actor, then what do we want you to do? So in the do section here, I'm going to open that up. We want you to destroy yourself. So I'll click in this box and then type in the word destroy, and then that's all we need to do. So I'm going to repeat that one more time really quickly. We'll create a rule. In this section, we'll type in collision. So when the pipe overlaps and collides with destroy pipe, then what do we want to happen? So in the do section, I'll type in destroy. So let's take a look at this and make it a little bit more obvious for us to see. So I'm going to take this destroy pipe actor and we're going to just drag it into the frame here so we can see what happens, and then we'll preview this. So every 3 seconds we should get a pipe, but that pipe should destroy on contact with our destroy pipe actor, which you can see here it does. And then that way we don't get our pipes wrapping around our scene over and over and over again. So that's working perfectly.